There he is.
Flight to Tokyo, departing from gate B3.
You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
Will you just leave me alone? Ah, someone's coming!
Ooh, a puppy!
Bark, 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 bark! Bark, 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 bark.
Listen, Flyboy, the contents of that case are worth more than you make in a year. You got that, sport? You be careful. Do you have a fragile stick or something you can put on that? Because I know what goes on back there. I had a box of cookies once it came back as crumbs.
The Mystic Portal.
As we go through, just need to find that case.
Level 13, Airport Infiltration. When I was a little kid playing this the first time, I could not pronounce that level name for the life of me. Hello, first gear to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. In the previous episode, we defeated the greatest character in Toy Story history, and now I'm sad with what they did to him in the Lightyear movie. But in today's episode, we'll be going through the airport. Yay, we get to wait around for hours for a flight that'll be delayed. Yay, isn't that fun? Isn't that exciting? Isn't that the greatest thing in history? So over here we'll be facing some more bad guys. We got some rattlesnakes, and I gotta say, they kind of remind me of those little toys where, like, they're not exactly like plushies, but I don't know exactly how to word it, but you've seen those snake toys like gift shops and things like that, right? They're like super simple and things like that, and they're more so meant to like play on family and things like that. I always thought those were pretty interesting. I never got one when I was a kid, but I don't know, they're kind of cute. But anyway, now we're going through Airport Infiltration, and this level is kind of weird. So most of the time throughout this game, whenever we came across a level, we'd usually start off in a pretty good place where we had several options on where to go first. This one's not like that. It's more so along the lines of like elevator hop, where we start off in an area and we kind of have to work towards that central area that leads to everything else. That's kind of going to be the case for this one, and we fell to our deathly doom, and I'm not going to use a restore point. Oops. I know I said I wouldn't be using that too much with this play, but I lied. I am a lawyer. So we go over here, grab on that, and go this way. So we get a coin, and continue on over this way, because there's somebody over here we want to talk to.
Fuzzy boy!
Hi, boys. If you can bring me 50 coins, I'll give you a Pizza Planet token. Even though the friend we're trying to save this whole time is like right here and could probably use our help right now, I'm still going to prevent your progress. Mwahaha. Now, we haven't really seen this a whole lot through this adventure because we've been getting all the Pizza Planet tokens on our way over here. But each level in this game does have a requirement for how many Pizza Planet tokens you need to progress. I don't remember off the top of my head how many is required for every single one of them. We'll probably talk about this later in more detail at a future date. But I do remember the last level requires 40 Pizza Planet tokens, and there's 50 in total. So there's like 10 tokens you can skip over throughout this game, so that's kind of interesting. I'll go over here, take care of you. These Vultures still make the funniest noises ever when they get destroyed. I mean, I know that's kind of morbid to say because they're literally dying and stuff like that, but they sound funny when they die. That is a horrible thing to say. They could probably lead to sociopathic behaviors. So we go over this way, and we can go over here and talk to Rex. Rocky Gilba has a challenge for you. He is on the floor of the conveyor belt room. You can get to the token on the top of the broken plane using the hover boots. Mr. Potato Head has them near the stack of luggage. The prospector boss is on the conveyor belt at the top of the luggage stack. You need the hover boots to reach him. Ham is on the shelf in the end of the x-ray room. And the little tiger pilot has lost his passengers. He's on the repair hangar. Alright, now we go over here, and this is quite possibly my favorite line of dialogue in the entire game. He's missing his mouth, so like he can't talk as well. I love that detail so much, it's so funny. I mean, like, he probably could just learn sign language and communicate that way, but that'd be a little hard to animate on a PS1 game. I don't know. Has there ever been a character that's like spoken sign language in a video game? I want to look that up now because that'd be pretty cool. Like, I definitely do have ideas for characters who would speak sign language. But I'm not, like, working on a game right now. I'm playing a Toy Story game. Hi, Buzz. If you could bring me 5 weights before you run out of time, I'll give you a Pizza Planet token. I remember seeing this guy when I was a little kid and completely forgetting. My grammar has been getting worse over the years. I'm not doing this on purpose. I am so sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with that. I keep forgetting that guy existed whenever I'd replay through this game, even though I watch the movies all the time. If you don't remember exactly where he is in the movies, he's that one guy who lowers the ramp in the first movie. Like, he's also like, when they close the door at one point, he like gets crushed against the wall. So that's kind of cool. That's all fascinating indeed. Maybe someday I'll learn proper grammar and proper English so that I can speak words good and be able to communicate thoughts in my brain hole. Well done, you have found all of the weights. Here is your Pizza Planet token. Now go on, get after beating. Was this guy even in Toy Story 2? I don't remember. He probably was, probably in the background or something like that. And well, one thing I would like to know is like how much of the movie were the developers allowed to see in development? Because Toy Story 2 has like a very fascinating development history with the movies. So the movie itself was originally supposed to be like a movie tie. No, this is a movie tie-in game. The movie itself was originally supposed to be like a direct-to-DVD release because around this time Disney was doing a lot of direct-to-DVD releases because, you know, easy money. It's a sequel to a beloved movie, but they don't have to spend a whole lot of money to distribute it to theaters and things like that. They can just sell it on DVD. The movies themselves weren't very good. Like, they had like well, some of them had some pretty good animation. Like, I remember thinking The Little Mermaid 2 was actually pretty decent, but most of them weren't very good. So, the Toy Story 2 was originally supposed to be one of these, but later on Pixar and Disney, like, Disney kind of wanted Pixar to release it as a theatrical release. They thought the movie was too high budget and too high quality to only be a DVD release. The problem, though, was that Pixar and Disney had a 4-movie contract where Disney would distribute 4 movies and then, like, that'd be it until they renegotiated things. Toy Story 2 wasn't supposed to be part of that. And now we fell again. There we go. We learned from our mistake now. Alright, what else was I saying? Where to go? Yeah, they had a contract to distribute 4 movies, and then they'd renegotiate from there. So, Toy Story 2 wasn't supposed to be part of that, but then it ended up becoming part of it anyway, and Disney wanted it to be a theatrical release, but then that meant, like, one of the other plans that they had wouldn't be part of the contract anymore, and that kind of, like, soiled their relationship for a little while. So, the interesting thing about this going forward was that there was, like, a computer shortcut that would, like, remove your files and things like that. And Pixar didn't have the best backup systems in the world at this point. Keep in mind, this was, like, still a brand new studio. They weren't really considering archiving things very important and things like that. So somebody accidentally triggered that. And one by one, they started seeing, like, everything in the movie disappearing. Like, they saw all Woody's assets disappearing one by one, and they didn't have a good setup to stop it from happening. So they were like a year away from the movie's release, and they lost like 2 or 3 years worth of progress at this point. The movie was saved though because there was a person who was working on the development team. She like just had children, and so she was allowed to bring computers with her back home to continue working from home and things like that. So a stay-at-home working mother was able to save Toy Story 2. And I just love that story so much because, like, it really does show that it is, like, a good cautionary tale to make sure you have good archival stuff whenever you're working on a major project like that. But also the fact that because they allowed her to work from home, she was able to save the movie. So I just love that so much. Like, eventually Pixar and Disney, like, okay, before we go any further, this guy over here, maybe one of my favorite new characters in this game. Look at his mustache! Just look at him. He's so, like, tough and serious. He has, like, a super serious mustache. I love this guy so much. Hi, Buzz. If you can find 5 little tyke passengers for my next flight, I will give you a Pizza Planet token. This mustache is amazing. Alright, continuing onwards. I lost my train of thoughts and now we'll be talking about something else. Yay! Oh no! That hurt my feelings. How could you do such a thing? I'm over it. Now we're going over here. Going back to the whole grammar getting worse as I get older thing. There's a broken wing plane hangar thingy over in this direction. So I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of this room would be in like a real world scenario. Do they have rooms like this where there's like just a plane that's like completely taken apart? Because it kind of seems like something you would take off-site for some kind of like plane factory or something like that. I don't know. I don't know anything about airports other than I've never had a good experience going through one. So, there's not really a whole lot of stories I can tell because they involve a lot of other people, but one story that I can tell has to do with the first international flight that I ever went through. So, around my 13th birthday and my sister's 18th birthday, we were planning like a big trip to go to Europe and things like that. So we were going to Europe, we were starting to go to England and then Paris and then Disneyland Paris for a couple of days, and it was going to be a lot of fun and things like that. The problem though was the first flight. So we go to the airport and we are there in time, but then the plane, as it takes off, there's like this really loud noise and we don't know what's going on. It turns out that the door didn't close all the way and they had to land the plane again to get it fixed. You'd think closing a plane door wouldn't take very long, but we were there for like 10 additional hours or whatever. So we were there for a long time. They wouldn't let us check into a hotel or anything like that to get out of the airport. And at one point, when the new security people came by, they had everybody leave the place and then go back out. And that meant dumping all of our water and stuff like that. So, yeah, eventually I think they did to get like snacks and things like that, but it wasn't real food or anything. It was a really terrible experience. I don't really like flying that much. Okay, actually being in a plane, I like kind of like that. I like being in planes, like flying, things like that. But the airports themselves, it's never been a good experience. Oh no! That is what restart points are for. Okie dokie. Alright, so going over here, there's something over in this direction that really, really bothers me. Learn from your mistakes, Gator. Learn from your mistakes. Okay, wait for the turbine to go off. And then eventually it'll stop doing things, and then we can continue onward on our merry way through our path of glory. You don't want to be quick about this because the turbines will start turning on again, and not a very pleasant experience at all. Alright. Right, so the top one and the bottom one are going to be turning off and on every now and then. But there's something that really bothers me right now. First of all, there's a... I should have a counter on screen for every time I do that. I mean, we're 13 episodes in, so it might be a little too late to do one, but I'm curious, like, how many times we've done that when I said at the beginning of the project that we wouldn't be doing it too much. But yeah, we want to go down here, and we got the next tag. I like how all of them in this level have, like, different designs. It's really fun. But what I don't like is that there's a coin in these turbines we can't get. We can never get over them because the coin is behind, like, the giant cylinder thingy in the center. So, yeah, that's kind of bad. We can't possibly get over there, and I don't know, maybe it's like that one thing in the second level where there was a battery I couldn't figure out for 20 years, so who knows, maybe 20 years from now I'll be able to figure out how to get that stupid coin. Wow, thanks, boys! In return for finding my mouth, I'll let you use the hover boots. You can float higher by holding down the jump button, and can float lower by letting go of the jump button. He lies! He lies, because this is easily the worst power-up in the entire game. Look, I'm holding the jump button. Okay. Huh. I could have sworn this didn't work, but of course, now that I'm recording, the game is making a liar out of me. Alright, so apparently you hold down the jump button to go fly higher and things like that. So you want to be like super close to the walls and things like that to continue flying higher. This power-up sucks. I'm sorry, but it does. We'll get more into that in a moment. Ha 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 ha. Defeat the Prospector boss to get a Pizza Planet token. Lasers don't work on him. I don't know why not, because he's made like a stuffing and things like that. He's a plushie, so it's unlike Zerg where he's like more of a metallic plastic-like toy. So, yeah, what you want to do, you want to use a spin attack. It'll be a little bit tricky to do because he's going to be continuously attacking with the pickaxe. That'll cause a trail of evilness to go across the ground. So you want to watch out for that. Continuously go in a circle and eventually you'll be okay. I don't know how effective a spin attack like this will work. Oh, it did work. Yay! And just like the previous boss, that wasn't Zerg, he didn't get completely destroyed either. But let's attack him while he's down. Yay! This is what you get for kidnapping Woody! And now we'll be going over in this direction, because there's a battery. And batteries are usually pretty decent. Except if you're living in this era where batteries didn't last very long at all. It's kind of interesting seeing how far batteries have come, because like they were god-awful when I was a kid. Because like, they wouldn't last very long, and I had to change them out all the time, but now, like for example, with a Wii remote, we would play with batteries and things like that, and then eventually we get like a rechargeable battery. But then even with that, the battery wouldn't last very long. But now, I've had the same batteries in my Wii remote for like 2 years now, and they still haven't died. I mean, I'm not sure how much that's actually saying though, because like, I don't play the Wii as often as I used to, but at the same time, like, I do still play a lot. 'Cause I did the Super Mario Let's Play and things like that, and like, playing through a couple games lately that I don't want to say, because they may or may not be future Let's Plays. Hey, 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 secret, secret, secret. But we've seen all this already, so we're gonna fast forward back to where we want to go, so... Fast forward. That actually sounded kind of decent. Why can I never sing like that whenever like I'm actually trying? I was just being goofy, but that actually sounded kind of decent for once. Yeah, I decided to come back here instead because I realized that that room probably should be the last one we go through, and we'll see why in a moment. So we're going over here, and we're going to talk to Ham. Well done, Buzzy Boy. Here is your Pizza Planet token. Ah, boy, what flavor? I gotta say, I really like how these ones, the Pizza Planet tokens, this level, they look a lot shinier than the other ones. We've seen this a little bit throughout the game, but there's actually like a pretty decent lighting effect that goes on with the Pizza Planet tokens, where like the lighting in them will change depending on the level. So my headcanon is that the ones in this far into the game, they're shinier because like maybe they're newer or something like that. I don't really know, but that's my personal headcanon for this game's awesomeness. And now they're back on top of this direction. So can I actually get that from here? I think we can. I haven't tried this in a while. Oh, it does work. Yay! Alright, we got the last one. So, whee! And I'm free falling. I gotta say, the town out here, this looks really cool for a PlayStation game. I know it's like a 2D background and all, but it still looks really neat. Thanks for finding my little tyke passengers, Buzz. Here is a pizza. Planet token. I'm sorry, I just like doing that. I'm a dork. And now we got the thingy-mabob. Yay! We got the thingy, and it's shiny. And we'll probably drink eggnog with it. Why isn't eggnog available yet? You probably will by the time this video comes out, but why isn't it in stores? I want eggnog! If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I have an eggnog addiction. I love eggnog, and it depresses me so much that it's not available every time of the year. I don't care that it's probably wouldn't taste that good in the heat. I legit don't care one bit. I want it available all the time of the year. Okay, now we're heading back over in this direction for the bazillionth time in this stupid level. I like this level and all, but I kind of have a negative opinion on it because this is where we unlock the hover boots. The hover boots, like, I don't know, like the flying up and down never really seems to work that well when like you're actually trying and stuff like that. So I'm not really a big fan of it, but also I just don't like the fact that that's the reason why we can't get everything in. Oh no! We still fair point, save lives. I don't like that the hover boots are the reason why we aren't able to get everything we possibly can in Al's Toy Barn in the first run. I'm not a fan of that. It's really silly. But, yeah. That was the best way to end the sentence. That stupid snake. That stupid snake is not invited to Thanksgiving. There we go. And now you are no longer a part of the living. Let's fly up here. And this is the big reason why I wanted this to be the last level, the last piece, but I took them again this level. You see where we're going with this if you've watched the previous episodes.
To infinity and beyond!
One more time. One more time. One more time. I love this so much.
Infinity and beyond!
It's always amusing. Okie dokie, how many coins did we get this time? Just 2 away! We were just 2 away. We could have gotten it. That stupid turbine coin was actually possible to get. Reminds me of those things with cheese and Perfect Dark that they made inaccessible on purpose to annoy people. Anyway, now we're taking care of all that, we're in this video off here. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Toy Story 2. In the next episode, we'll be going on the tarmac. Oh boy! And next time, we need to get her to you. Oh yeah.